Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Advisor with Stacey Chillemi. And today I'm very excited because we have a very special guest. Well, I should say two guests today. We have Julia and we also have Ryan, and they are from Insight Health Apps, and they have an amazing app, an amazing company that does fabulous things. And I'm going to let them explain exactly what their company is about and the different things that they can provide to people to help them improve their overall health and live a better and happier life. So I am really excited to have both of you on the show today. Do you want maybe we'll start with Ryan. You can tell them a little about yourself, who you are, and what you represent.
Absolutely, Stacey. First and foremost, thank you so much for having us on. And second of all, in terms of what we represent is, to me, it's kind of really what we're trying to achieve, and that is, we're trying to help individuals kind of take back their own health. I
Yes.
think if you look at the problem, with a typical medical market now, it's we go to the doctors and we have no idea what they do, what they say. They give us these prescriptions and we take these drugs, sort of willy-nilly without sort of realizing, the side effects or the implications. And, really in terms of our technology and, really what we've been focused on over the last 15 or 20 years is to find ways where we can empower, users at home, health and wellness seekers to try to find answers themselves without having to give away their power, to the
Yes.
doctor.
Hmm.
Um, and then secondly, because we are a integrative health and wellness company, our focus is more centered around helping an individual find their own balance and own harmony within their own home, and to actually kind of take that as an opportunity for them to learn valuable information along the way. And this is why, like a lot of the technology that we have developed, they are essentially bundled as sort of mobile applications. And they are centered around, educating the holistic wellness seeker on the latest, cutting edge, research and development that's going on with vocal biomarkers as well as with, bioresonance. I'll just kind of say one thing in terms of our technology, and if you look at the typical medical institution, you go to your doctor, you take your pharmaceutical drugs, and really what we're dealing with is more sort of sound-based healing, or something which is more popularly called biofeedback or bioresonance, where instead of actually looking at the chemical composition of the individual, we're looking at the body as a kind of bioenergetic being, where a body has vibration, it's got auras, it's got chakras, it's got all these energy centers within the body. And in terms of our technology, what we're trying to do is kind of tap into that biofield where we can understand the information that's naturally contained within the biofield, and then access, specific playlists of custom frequencies to help get the body back into balance. Bit of a long introduction, but I've been doing this type of research for the last kind of 20, 21 years. Absolutely enjoy it. And, certainly a lot more exciting things to come along. But thank you. But thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. And Julia, tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah. First, a word about Ryan. He is the genius behind the genius. He's not saying it, but he's a developer and he's non-stop in thinking about new things. So I love that about him. So I'm a naturopath. I'm based in Italy, and I've been doing this. I've been doing bioresonance for quite a few years before meeting the genius and Ryan. But now it's been quite a few years with the genius, and I have to say, my work has changed very much because of this. And I think everybody that actually gets in contact with this technology and with this possibility, it's really amazed by what we can do if we look at the biofield, as Ryan was saying, not so much of the biochemical part of the body, which is also important. So I'm not against anything, but I'm definitely for optimizing one's health and for being actually independent and being able to adjust oneself's energy on a daily basis. This should be something that everybody, can do without necessarily going to the doctor or to the naturopath or anything like that, because we have the power to change our energy. So this app and this development that Ryan is continuously doing, and we're also trying to feed him,
Mhm.
more requests and things, because from the field of all the practitioners, we gather so much new experience and new information that have not been here before because it's the first time actually we're seeing case by case what the body is able to do in energy terms because we analyze the biofield, we analyze through the voice, and then this is a very personalized and very, like I would say, highly tailored therapy or, harmonization, if we want, of the energy and the biofield, which we have not seen before. Like normally in any therapy, we just apply some protocols or the knowledge we have, and we're not able to assess each individual in their own specifics. So once we start doing this, first of all, it's quite interesting and it's like a investigation every time you see a new biofield. Also, you learn so much because we have now all this information from the voice, and it's incredible both in terms of professional use and home use because we've now created two sides of this technology, and people can use it in their home. They need to be trained, so I would like to do that,
Mhm.
and I'd like to do the training for them because it's really fascinating to get this power to the people, to the just everyone's biofield should be their own and like that. So, and also for professionals, it's really interesting to step, above the whatever we knew before, which was not so personalized. So
Right.
that's kind of what I do.
Now, Ryan, what was the actually purpose, like the passion that really drove you into this area? Really having such an interest in energy and how energy plays such a role in our health.
In all fairness, I would probably say it kind of stems back to me as a child actually having a speech problem. As a child, I had a stuttering problem, and through my own methods, I was able to kind of address that. But the way I addressed it was kind of facing some of my sort of biggest fears. So, I think as a child, voice has always been it's always been important to me. Trying to understand the way we communicate, and just in terms of the way we communicate, we can, if someone's angry or if someone's sad, if someone's crying, if someone's sick, there are changes within the voice pattern. And those changes are basically what we are measuring with our technology. But in terms of this actual industry, first and foremost, this is a very sort of, I'll say, avant-garde type of industry. It is centered around quantum biofeedback. It's centered around the words like, resonance, bioresonance. And really, the kind of fundamental underlying principle here is that we see the body as the body electric. So, in other words, at a sort of energetic level, we have frequencies, we have resistance, we have energy flow, etc. So, with that as a kind of foundational understanding that we look at resonance, every item in the universe has a specific sort of resonant frequency. So for me, I've been very much involved in that industry for the last 25 or 30 years. In fact, most of my adult life. And then through one thing or another, in 2011, 2012, for all intents purposes, I had a sort of brain download dump. I was at a guided meditation. And, at that stage, I'd been fortunate enough to be involved in the industry. And, we were selling high price ticket items anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000. And, the problem with that type of technology, it's not really available to your average consumer, to your average health and wellness seeker.
Mhm.
And during this guided meditation, I kind of visualized how to take a complex $20,000 biofeedback product and put it into a mobile application. And I kind of got back and I was like super amped, and I had a few A4 pieces of paper and I literally started sketching things out on this piece of paper. It
Yeah.
took me about 8 or 9 months to come out with our first prototype app. I actually wrote a blog article about this. It took me 8, 9 months and I had a whole whopping $20 to my name. But that whole journey over the 8 months was really magical because a I mean, this is going back 2011, 2012, when, people were kind of talking about mobile applications, but they weren't really sort of, like sort of common knowledge. And then B, I had absolutely no blueprint. I mean, this is something that no one had ever done before.
Yeah.
So I had nothing to follow other than like 3 or 4 pieces of this A4 paper that I actually started writing down on. But, what was so magical about that whole kind of 8 or 9 month journey is you obviously get to a certain stumbling block where you have no idea what on earth to do. And literally different people stepped into my life at different times and they kind of helped me with a mathematical algorithm or helped me with something else. And it was just, it's kind of amazing, like when you kind of give yourself up to the universe and you say, you know what, this is a calling, I need to do it.
Mhm.
How I'm going to do it, I have absolutely no idea. But you just kind of put one step forward and you just keep on following a path. And to me, it was probably one of the most like I don't want to say romantic journeys I've ever had, but definitely a kind of dance with energy where you just kind of give up and you just give everything to the universe and you just kind of
Yeah.
follow and follow. So, that was the evolution of it. And when we released our first mobile application, it was actually on Memorial Day. And, since then I'm certainly blessed to still be doing this. In terms of the research and development, it's obviously always going on. But
Yeah.
in a kind of basic nutshell, how this technology works, it's a mobile application. You can download it onto any Android or onto any iOS device. It's available on the App Store. There's a 2-week trial because obviously we want people to get to use the technology. Um, it's as complex or as simple as you want to make it. If you have
Yeah.
very little, understanding about anatomy and physiology and health and wellness, you can still use the device. Obviously, there will be certain limitations because obviously, the more skilled you are, the more you understand, the more the data will begin to make sense to you.
Yeah.
But for all intents purposes, you speak into the mobile application for 15 seconds. It takes your voice, it analyzes your voice, it compares it against a database of thousands and thousands of different resonant frequencies that we have that can range from, emotions to hormones
Wow.
to activity, your chakras, your auras, because every item has a different resonant kind of structure or a different frequency. So we're really just taking your voice, comparing it against a database of built-in frequencies that we have. It then looks for a kind of correlation, and then it creates a custom playlist of sound healing frequencies specific for you in that moment based upon your initial voice. So, what has really been super exciting for me is that there's a lot of technology out there, but a lot of this technology, it's like one-way feedback. You
Yeah.
hit the technology, you push a button, and then it does, whatever it does. But, really the focus of our technology is that we really want a custom tailored approach for each and every individual. That's why they speak into the phone. We capture their voice, and then we create a custom playlist of, energetic tones and signals, which, for all intents purposes, just help stimulate the body's own innate healing ability.
I love that. That is so amazing. I remember I was watching a documentary and it was a bunch of physics and physicists and they actually had people who had things that had problems with their health or they had anxiety and then they had healthy people who were living a nice, healthy, productive life and there was very little stress in their life. And they put grains of sand and it was on this instrument of it was a machine that they had created. And when they had a tube and the person blew into the tube. So the people who had a lot of things going on in their life, whether it was mental health or physical health, or they were under a lot of stress, they blew into it and the sand went all over the place. Now, the people who had actually little stress in their life, things were going well for them, and they didn't have many obstacles to endure. When they blew into it, they actually had shapes formed, symmetric shapes, and it was aligned and everything looked nice and pretty. And it was amazing how the energy, was placed and how they could tell using this machine that they had and the grains of sand on top of the machines. And it's pretty amazing. I'd like you to clarify because a lot of people, when I speak to them and we talk about energy and we talk about how powerful energy is, and really energy, without energy, we wouldn't be able to live. We wouldn't be here. The world couldn't function without energy. And I think there are a lot of people out there that are a little skeptical because what they can't see, they just don't resonate. They're in that little gray box. And, for those people, I want you to further explain to them how powerful energy is and what energy really does and how it affects us. Because even with the chakras, if the chakras are not aligned, you can feel the difference. You can feel there are areas that are blocked and you might not be functioning 100%. And when, there are certain things in your body that aren't resonating and aren't doing well, you could see the difference, with, how the body, where the energy goes. And, if you have the proper machines and you have the proper testing, you can figure out what's going on. But for people who don't quite understand it, can you clarify and explain the importance of energy, how powerful it is, and how it actually helps heal the body, and why we need to have more focus, and we have to really focus on, really having a healthy alignment and health, and how energy plays a role in our life.
For sure. I'll let Julia chime in with that, and then I've certainly got some points that I'd like to add to that as well.
Okay.
What the first thing is people that don't understand or believe in energy, they're quite right in some way because there's no education on this. Like we've learned, everybody, in school, we've learned that the body is biochemistry. So we know that every molecule has a sequence of, atoms, and we've learned chemistry. So
Hmm.
from then, we also have an experience of the energy in terms of feelings and sensations and things we know without knowing that we know. So nobody actually explained how this works. So we're trying to bring that all back because it's one single system made in layers of energy where matter and chemistry is the denser layer. Let's say like this, it's a dimension. It's a dense, so we can touch it, we can use our five senses to have an experience. But the same body, the same dimension, it gets subtle and it becomes, less matter and more energy. And it's the same exact thing, but we don't touch it. So we have a different perception about it, but it's
Yeah.
still there. Everybody feels it, everybody has it. We're trying to describe it now and have a system. Like the genius for me, it's an interface between the layer of energy that we don't see with our eyes and our mind, our understanding. Because, see, energy has always been talked about and perceived more in a mystical or kind of, even in the holistic word, it's been sort of difficult to translate in terms that people can understand. The genius allows us to see energy in an interface where you have a name for every sensation and feeling and everything that happens in the body. So we have now a language that we can show people, and even somebody doesn't believe in all this, it doesn't matter because we can actually have a conversation. And when they get, they give us their voice and we say, oh, it looks like you have an imbalance in your liver or an imbalance in some emotions, and they know it's right, or they know about it, then they can understand there is something true about this. And we don't have to be too mystical, let's say, without showing, some proof of this. So that is a way to gap and to actually educate everybody about things they already experience. They just don't have names for it, or they don't want to go too much into the field of, you know, voodoo energy because it's not like that. So everybody has a body that is like a geometry. It's a structure. Energy is not just floating around. It's
Right.
structured and it has geometries. And those geometries, we read it as frequencies, but not one frequency. It's a spectrum of frequencies.
Hmm.
Our voice is able to deliver all those geometries in spectrum and then show us what's behind it and give a name for it. Now, as Ryan said, it takes a while maybe to go deep into this and some education and culture, but you can still use it because it will show you things. You don't need to know too much what's behind, but you can also learn. So what we're trying to do, and I say a little bit about how I work with this. I consider healing as self-healing always. Like
Hmm.
there's no medicine,
Yeah.
no therapist. Nobody heals you. You heal yourself with
Right.
the right conditions. So our job is actually to identify which conditions are blocking or are an obstacle for your own inner intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
to regenerate and recuperate and do whatever it does, which it does best when it's really allowed to play in, right? Actually, when we take medicine before there is a need, and that's unfortunately, uh, I agree with drugs or allopathic medicine when the body is not able to regenerate and do, the inner intelligence doesn't have enough
Yes.
power. So we
Mm-hmm.
look at this as
100%.
energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have enough vital energy, then we need help on different dimensions,
Right.
subtle and also dense.
Mm-hmm.
But for that, so on everyday basis, we should be able to just get rid of the energies or geometries that are not serving us. So like you said with the sand, it's the same in our body and everything is scattered or not harmonic, not intelligent if we don't have that alignment between actually all our energy centers. And
Mm-hmm.
we're trying to bring that back. And when that is done, the body does its own thing. So healing comes after that. That's what the genius allows us to do because it allows you to see where the imbalance is in that moment.
Yeah.
We don't diagnose,
Mm-hmm.
actually we don't even speak the language of medicine per se. We
Right.
speak the language of the body, yeah, which is energy and harmony and intelligence of the body. So we're trying to get that back, and anybody can understand this.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, they live it, they know it, they are their own
Yeah.
doctor.
I
I
think as well, like, a sort of really good analogy is that, deep down, we all know what's right and wrong for us.
Mhm.
I'm sure there's many times that you can meet an individual and have an instant attraction to that individual, but equally you can meet another individual and have an instant dislike to that individual. You can put yourself in a dangerous environment and you can feel that danger. Now, when you're feeling that danger, that's your intuition, that's your higher self, that's your higher consciousness actually talking to you. A real kind of lower consciousness experience that I had, I've just got back from Bali. And a prime example, it's like if you really tune into your body's talking to you all the time. It's just whether you
Right.
choose to listen, right?
Yes.
So I got back at about 4:30 in the morning and I decided to order a sandwich. And at 4:30 in Bali, you just don't order a sandwich. You just don't because anyway. So I'm busy eating the sandwich and like my body's telling me, Ryan, this is bad for you. It's bad for you. And of course, at 4:30 in the morning, I
Mhm.
know better, right? By
Yeah.
7:30, I woke up and I kind of got Bali belly, etc. And it was again, it's just sort of interesting. It's like deep down, the body is always talking to us. And this is why, like, part of our analogy is your body is talking. Are you listening? What our technology is doing or trying to do is basically just decipher the content that is already within your sort of energetic field, because it's really difficult to take data and put it into numerical charts or graphs or whatever it is. But nonetheless, it's a working process. And the idea here is to actually take content, to take energy content and to put it into a realistic visual graph where, as a practitioner or a home and wellness seeker, you can look at this data and you can kind of begin to visualize exactly what's going on in the body. And um, what is great about this technology is that it's a customized approach. Again, as an example, if you go to a chiropractor or a homeopath or an osteopath or a medical doctor, whatever it is, they are all trained in their specific modality. So you
Mhm.
go to a chiropractor and he will see everyone from a chiropractic perspective, which is great. That is certainly the answer. But part of our technology and the benefit that our technology has is that everyone's body is different.
Yes.
So maybe today the person needs a chiropractic adjustment, but hey, you know what? Maybe they have a chakra that's out of balance, or maybe there's some risk profiles that we need to look at.
Yes.
So to me, with this technology, because we've got so many different modalities kind of, brought under the roof, whether you're a chiropractor or a nutritionist or an acupuncturist, it's really prompting you to get out of your comfort zone.
Hmm.
Because as a practitioner, we honestly, we get lazy. Somebody comes into you and they've got certain, they're presenting certain symptoms, and with very little thought, it's, oh, okay, it's this, boom, boom, boom. And you kind of go into your protocol or you go into your kind of work mode. Everyone's body is different. The reason why I've got a cold, it can be completely different to why you've got a cold.
Right.
But up until now, we never really had sort of unbiased technology, because this technology, it's not designed to sell you another service. It's not designed to sell you a product or a herb or a supplement. There's the Genius, it doesn't make any money from that. So
Right.
to me, what's cool is that you really are getting an unbiased, holistic view of your body's current state of health. And then it's obviously up to you as a practitioner or as a clinician or whatever it is to begin to look at that information, and then you begin to decipher it.
I love that. I love that. Now, with the Genius, so how would someone be able to use the Genius? Would you well, what is the procedure? So because a lot of people are probably saying, "Wow, I'd like to try this." I have things going on, and I'd love to find out, where my body, I really need to focus on and so forth. So how does the Genius work? So what would be the next step if someone really wants to figure out what's going on with their health and they want some more answers? What would they do next? How would they use the app?
I'll leave it up to you, up to you, Julia.
So the app is quite easy and very intuitive. And I want to say something also about how you treat with the app. So first, you will just record your voice. It's 15 seconds, saying your name, the vowels, which give us the frequency actually of the organs and the chakras and everything. And then we take a picture. We'll see the aura, the biofield in colors, I say in a more scientific way.
Mhm.
And then all this data will be analyzed and confronted against hundreds and hundreds of already in the database already have, the frequencies of the correct, let's say, frequencies or the optimum frequencies of the whole body, like in organ systems, vitamin, minerals, sensitivities, things like that, but also the biofield in chakras, meridians, acupuncture points, solfeggio tones. There's very much in the Genius, and much more can be also programmed in it. So it's an open architecture, right? You would say,
Mhm.
Ryan, so that we can put more frequencies based on what are we interested in. As long as we have the frequency in Hertz, or we also use archetype encoded, that is a little more sophisticated but beautiful. And we can add more things to test. Once we have the picture of what's happening today and where the imbalances are really about where the energy is out of the resonance, the best or optimum resonance with you in that moment, then we can collect the frequencies that need to be adjusted. So my voice has said this, so I don't need to think about it, or,
Yeah.
it's there. So it's really easy to see. And once we collect these frequencies, we basically play the frequencies in sound.
Hmm.
There are different ways to deliver impulses as frequencies, like electromagnetic, light, sound. And sound, it's a beautiful way to really harmonize the nervous system. And from there, the whole content of water, so water molecules in the body, and then, soft tissues and bones and all that. Basically, what happens is, like, if you think of going on a beautiful beach with the ocean, and the sound of the ocean, and you just let yourself be immersed in nature, for example, the frequency of nature, then
Yeah.
you immediately have a change if you pay attention, you have a change in your body. So we're saying here that we're able to generate that sound of the natural, actually, resonant sound that is good for your body in with headphones, and you're sitting in your home, or doing, actually, you can do the therapy anywhere as long as you pay attention to it. And what happens is that your body will get into a different state, vibrational state, which changes the chemistry. So we don't have to worry so much about the chemistry, and the
Yeah.
body will occur because you have changed the vibrational environment of your system, consciousness, and everything, not just the body. So it's really an immersion in a bubble of a different frequency and vibration that we're creating through the app. So it's quite amazing. Like, you can create your own chamber of healing,
Hmm.
and just let yourself be getting resonance with these frequencies, the inner intelligence of the body will perceive what it needs to perceive, and it will do the adjustments that it wants to do. Also, I find this from a therapeutical point of view, very respectful of the person and their inner intelligence, because with some modalities, we could be forcing the body to go to a place where we think it would be better, but
Mhm.
in fact, it's not. We always have to be respectful of what the person is able to do in that moment. And
Yes.
it will do more and more if we give it more energy. So we're
Right.
giving it correct and optimum energy for that person. And then it will do more adjustments. That's how it works.
I love that. Do you have anything to add, Ryan?
I do. Like a real kind of simplistic mechanism is you can go to our website, which is insighthealthapps.com. There's a 2-week free trial. You download the app, you create a profile. You don't have to put your credit card details or anything like that, but really it's completely free for 2 weeks. And, you know, whether you're a skilled practitioner or not is kind of immaterial because for the first couple of weeks, I mean, you can literally upload your voice, get to a page, push a button, see the results, and then push another button. And then what it does, it automatically balances the highs and low numbers. I mean, that's a real simplistic view of how you can use the technology. Obviously, if you are a bit more intrigued and you look at the data and the data is a bit more appealing and you want to understand a bit more in terms of, why this item has come up versus, this item as an example, we certainly do you certainly do have the ability where you can kind of learn more, you can sort of drill down deeper, et cetera, et cetera. Um, if people want to get certified, we have a certification with a quantum university. You can become a vocal bioresonance health coach as well. We have a lot of, kind of built-in manuals, and then we have training, online trainings, etc. So, it really has been designed to be as easy to use as possible, but equally, we've given it the kind of capabilities that the more skilled you are as a practitioner, the more you can kind of look at the data and sort of make a much better educated approach. I always use a kind of analogy, like if you're a home user, you're going to have a type of shotgun type of approach. You're going to point the trigger and pull and hope that a few of the pellets will kind of hit the target. Or if you're a licensed practitioner, you can obviously have a much better kind of laser focused approach. But nonetheless, it really has been designed to kind of work across the spectrum.
That's great. So, someone like myself could actually use the app, and then once I get the results, I can go to someone like a neuropath like Julia, and I could say, well, I use this app, and this is what, it told me, and then use some of the different frequencies and some of the opportunities that it gives you on the app, so you could start healing yourself and feeling better. But I also can go
Absolutely.
and get external help from outside to actually progress and enhance my health overall.
Absolutely. That's, certainly the goal here is to basically empower you to take control of your own health. So certainly you download it, you have a look, you run a few frequencies, you listen to the frequencies, hopefully it stimulates your own innate healing. If you find you actually want more, then by all means you can get in touch with us and hook up with one of our practitioners. You can do a kind of one-on-one session. We've got, this isn't a fly-by-night thing. We've certainly been doing this for many, many years. It is new technology. It's kind of, as I said before, it's sort of avant-garde technology. But within our community, we've got thousands and thousands of users all over the world, and the results that they've been getting has been really humbling. I'm not going to lie. When we started off with this development, I had a kind of conceptual idea in terms of what we wanted and sort of what we wanted to achieve, and as it's began to evolve, the practitioners have said, no, 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 it works like this and I can do this. It's like, okay, cool. And again, it's the bridge that I have with the practitioners is really, really cool because without their feedback, obviously we wouldn't have been able to develop so quickly and be, where we are today.
That's truly amazing. Now, what are some of the services that you provide on your website and that your company provides?
Primarily we're a software as a service company. So we build kind of boutique voice analysis based apps for the holistic healthcare market.
Okay.
A lot of the applications that we've got, they are not necessarily sold to outside companies. They are really sold to our practitioner network.
Hmm.
We probably have an active database of about 10 or 12,000, practitioners. So, as and when we make new changes or we have new development or we develop new products, typically, it is specific for our existing, user base, for our existing, our sort of customer base. But our apps range from being able to harmonize your water, restructure your water with kaleidoscopic fractal animations, to discovering your dirty little secrets and going through an emotional journey with an emotional insight. We have another app which can help kind of harmonize relationships. We've got different apps that are easier to use, different apps that are more kind of complex. But, certainly the focus has been centered around health and wellness, boutique-based apps to help people live a healthier, better. I know that sounds like a cliche, but, really we have the we have the technology to help people live a healthier and better life and to really take control of your own health.
Right. I love that. I love that. Now, if you had to take our conversation overall, what would be some of the things you'd like to emphasize to the listeners today?
Take back your own health. Don't give away your power. It's easier than you think. Your body is talking to you all the time.
Hmm.
It's just whether you choose to take a moment, take a breath, smell the roses, and listen to what your body is saying.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I'm super blessed that we have developed technology like this, but this technology might work for some people, it might not work for other people. But really, just take back your own health. You don't have to give away your power all the time. Our technology, I feel, is a bridge. It's designed to help people take back their power. It's
Yeah.
designed to help the health and wellness user get more from their health and, get more from their health. And gosh, it's 2 weeks, it's free trial. You've got nothing to lose, everything to gain.
Hmm.
Uh, and to me, just start looking in, start going within.
I love it. And do you have anything else to add, Julia? Any takeaways that you'd like to emphasize on?
Well, I'd like to tell people really to trust their inner intelligence and to trust the energetic side of their life and learn how to listen to it because it's really the juice of life is there.
Yeah.
So if you're even interested a little bit, it's worth trying. And definitely the technology, it's very, very worth it. I come from the 20, 30,000, euro machines and
Yeah.
devices, and this does 10 times more than that. So definitely 2 weeks of trial. It's very generous from Ryan
Might
to
even
allow.
change your life.
I love it. I love it. And can you tell people before we go, once again, where they can find your website and where they can find you?
Of course. So our Genius app is called the Genius Insight mobile app. So Genius, but otherwise our website is insightshealthapps.com. Insightshealthapps.com. Have a search on the homepage. There should be a download button or something like that. But you want to download, I think the Genius Insight, it's like our kind of main flagship app. But certainly do that. I'm sure somewhere during the sign up process we'll say, "How did you hear about us?" By all means, put Stacey's name down, and then we can send you a little free gift of some sort. I haven't figured out what that is, but we'd certainly love to know that you did come from here.
I love it. I love it. Well, this has been amazing. I am so glad you guys came on the show. This is very exciting. I love the idea of having the Genius app and being able to figure out what is going on just by the frequency of your voice and being able to really see different things and learn different things about your own body that you may not have been aware of. And then to have certain solutions and certain things brought to you that could actually enhance your overall health and bring you back to where you're supposed to be. So this was great having you both on the show. I hope that you'll come on in the future and we can talk more in depth about, the app and about all the topics that you had mentioned about, voice frequency, the importance of it, and why it plays such a vital role in our health and so forth. So I really look forward to possibly seeing you guys in the future. And I thank you so much for taking the time out and also for what you're doing. You guys have dedicated your life to helping others and improve their overall health. And for me, that just blows my mind away. I really do appreciate people who really take the time out to really do things that will benefit other people's health and overall wellness. And, if everybody could just take a little time out to do something for somebody else and help someone, improve their lives, imagine how great this world could be. So that's what both of you are doing right now. And I commend both of you for devoting your lives to such a great cause.
Well, thank you so much, Stacey. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Stacey. Thank you
Oh,
very much for having us.
oh, thank you. You have a great day.
Thank you, and to you.
You too.